Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Xfinity. Call 1-800-XFINITY today for a great offer. Ram Trucks, Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. And by Meijer. Spring is here. Come into Meijer and save on everything you need to refresh your home, wardrobe, and yard.
John Keating back here at Joe Louis Arena. Wings and Hurricanes coming up. A home NHL season is 41 games. Through the first 22 that the Wings played here at the Joe, they were an unthinkable 6-10-6. What in the world? But in their last 16, they have gone 12-2-4. Goals for way up, goals against way down. It's simple math, really, and that's why the Wings are finding success, and that's why the Wings found their way into the playoffs for a 23rd consecutive season. Let's get it going. Upstairs we go. Here's Ken Daniels.
Thank you, John. And let's bring you our goaltenders. Brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Cam Ward versus Detroit. 1-4-1 in his career. The former Cup and Conn Smythe winner has been relegated to backup for the most part this season. And Jimmy Howard, 2-1 in 3 career games against Carolina. And on a season-high 4-game winning streak. He had the night off in Pittsburgh on Wednesday. Well, in the first meeting in this building on what was Brendan Shanahan night, and fitting, number 14 scored 2 goals in his first game of the season, called up that night from Grand Rapids. He also had the game winner that night, and that ended a 7-game winless streak for Detroit and a home winless streak of 8. The Wings went on to win 6 of their next 8. At that time, the biggest victory of the year. The penultimate game of the season and the final home game of this regular season for Detroit, but there will be more to come starting next week here. As it's backhanded ahead, Brendan Smith ahead for Pavel Datsyuk. A couple of goals in the 4 games in his return, cuts to the middle. And Cam Ward with the save as Datsyuk starts with Abdelkader and Franzen up front.
Well, Pavel Datsyuk, after being out for Mike Babcock for 5 weeks, has been worked back into the lineup, and Coach Babcock said, I'm going to play him as much as he wants to play, and he can with that injury, and we know he's not 100%, but he's still a pretty good hockey player, so he's back to 18-19. His average is normally about 21 to 22 minutes per game. He and Henrik Zetterberg lead the team from the forward position.
The Kaiser on defense along with Quincy. Up front is Riley Shan, along with Gus Nyquist, who has it, and Thomas Tatar, who straddles the line to stay onside. Nyquist goes in after it. 28 goals in the season. If he gets to 30, he'll be the first since 09.
Okay.
And that shot by Tatar is deflected and out of play.
These guys make something happen all the time, every time they're on the ice, whether it's Yurko over there or Nyquist. He's been moved around because he's been so hot, making people better around him, and that goes something for a winger. Usually it's a centerman, and there's an old winger, Kurt Muller, who played for the Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens, and they've had a hard time with a playoff spot for 2 years, but there's some changes may be happening in Carolina at the management level with Jim Rutherford, who's here tonight. Ron Francis, who's also here tonight, possibly taking over as the word on the street.
As general manager, and Jim Rutherford will go upstairs as president. Just too far for Luke Glendening. No playoffs for this Carolina franchise since 2009. Last season, they led the Southeast Division at one point, but had plenty of injuries and lost 19 of their final 23 games. The crowd into this one, urging the Red Wings to get a lead here, but it's brought out by Andrei Loktionov, acquired this season. Howard will settle the puck down and leaving it for Lashoff on defense with Kendall, as Helm comes out with Alfredsson and Yurko. Yurko, who had a big goal on Wednesday in Pittsburgh. Riley Shan tied the game as his shot late went off Paul Martin and in. And then the Red Wings wound up losing in the shootout, but got the big point they needed for a 23rd consecutive year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And now, as we showed you under open, it just is to be determined whether they're 7th or 8th and whether it's Pittsburgh or Boston. As the puck is knocked down in back of the goal. Turning with it is Justin Falk, the good defenseman, number 27 for Carolina, who's got 29 points. Sent in by number 20, Riley Nash of the Hurricanes. as Kronwall feathered one in behind for his defense partner, Brendan Smith. They'll be partnered for a while in the absence of Jonathan Ericsson. We won't be back until second round of the playoffs should the Red Wings get there, and that would be at the earliest. Abdelkader in the corner. 26 points, a personal best for Justin Abdelkader. 8 goals in the season, 2 shy of his personal best of 10. Puck batted ahead for Datsyuk, tried to feed Abdelkader, and the Red Wings will get it out. Franzen for Pavel Datsyuk. Over to Abdelkader, who held it in. Remember, Abdelkader got his first 2 NHL goals in the Stanley Cup Finals against Pittsburgh in 09.
Right.
Like Darren Helm opened his scoring in the postseason. Well, Helm got a few more than Justin did at that time at that regard. Brought on by Drew Miller on the heels of a 100th career point. Indo will gather it back in and bring it back to Lashoff. Tipped ahead by Glendening, in for Legwand. Legwand fighting to the goal! Great play by David Legwand, busting to the net. Who finds Kindle and a shot? And Kindle let a slap shot go in Pittsburgh that found the back of the net. Turning with it is Patrick Dwyer. Applied his trade at the University of Western Michigan. He was a Bronco from 01 to 05. A big point producer there was Patrick Dwyer. Bumped in the corner was Jordan Stahl, brother of Eric. Shot in on Howard and just skidded wide of the goal. Jordan Stahl in to get it. Carolina coming off a 5-2 loss at home to Washington last night as Nyquist brings it in. Nyquist with a shot that'll be held by Ward, who had last night off as Udobin played. Carolina was never really in the game, as Mike Komisarek has some words there with Gus Nyquist, former Black Bear and Wolverine.
David Legwand made a nice move here at the net to go wide, but he lost the puck at the last second. Did a good job to protect that puck against Gerbe. And as he put it to the outside, he just couldn't get the stick on it for the open side there. And after that, Nyquist, and again with a good second effort, he got a weak backhand away, but nonetheless, it shows you the kind of determination that kid's got going to the net, like the goal he scored against Tampa Bay and Ben Bishop.
Kronwall's clearing attempt didn't work. Now good patience with the puck there as Helm was able to move it to Yurko. Helm goes to the goal. Yurko's pass was deflected away. Helm stayed with it though and then slapped around by Belmore. This will go down ice for an icing charge coming up against Carolina. Well, our predictions for tonight's Fox Sports Detroit Red Wings Player of the Game is presented by McDonald's new Bacon Clubhouse Burger are... I'm going with Gus Nyquist just by the fact that he scored those 2 big goals against Carolina earlier this season. Mickey's got Thomas Tatar shooting for his 20th of the year. And the guys on the set went with Pavel Datsyuk. Game 5 in his return.
Yeah, I think we got hot sauce on the hamburger tonight for sure.
Yeah? All right.
Tartar sauce. Let's get out going, kids. He's had a great year. Everybody loves to watch him play.
Well, as long as you've got it gluten-free, you're good to go.
There you go.
Nyquist couldn't pick it up. Ron Hainsey, number 65. On defense with Brett Belmore, number 73. Nyquist trying to steal it. Got help from Riley Sheahan. Nyquist put it in front and just tipped away before Tatar could get it. Point shot just whistled wide of the goal by Kindle. Nyquist turned it back into the corner. A lift of the stick there by Sheahan as Tatar comes in to grab the loose puck. Tatar goes right to the goal. And a high shot diving down. Hainsey and Tatar mad at himself.
Yes, he is, but he created a scoring chance coming out of the corner there. He is so good at that. Loose pucks, boy, oh boy, like a magnet. He's on it. Quick turn. And that block by Hainsey might have saved the goal. He was going short side high. Look at him up there, not even looking at the puck. And the goaltender's down like they are in the NHL. I guess at every other level these days, that's the way they teach it. They give you the top corner if you can hit it. I'd be practicing that every day if I was a hockey player today.
You were a hockey player today. We played this morning at 8 o'clock.
That's right. But I didn't quite get to the top corner.
Nor did I. And the goalies, for your part, were thankful for that.
Yeah. We're working on it.
Yeah. John Michael Lyles moves that puck. Acquired for Boston's Tim Gleason during the outdoor game on January 1st. Miles has been a nice addition for the Hurricanes. Maybe their best all-round defenseman since coming over. Took the shot there. Howard interfered with, and the shot went wide of the goal. Boy, the referee there, Jean Hebert, was thinking of calling something. It may have been a no goal, and coincidental contact had that puck gone in. Eric Furlat, the other referee tonight. Long pass tipped ahead as Skinner's out there, number 53 for Carolina. Leads the team in goals with 31, tying a personal best he had during his rookie season when he won the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year. Mike Komisarek, one-time Leaf and Canadian, fired it in. Legwand back to get it. So Legwand's been dropped down to a fourth-line wing with Glendening and Miller. Legwand's been all over the map with this Red Wing lineup. That's up to now to play. So we'll step out for a moment. Still a goalless first period here at the Joe.
Let's take a look. November 21st. Here comes number 14. He's a lot smaller than the old number 14 in Shanahan, but the train is still just as effective. We've seen this, have we not? It's a lot since then. Nice move on Peters, the goaltender. 4-3 win for the Red Wings here in a nice night for Mr. Gustav at the time, now Gus Nyquist.
And he scored 4 goals his first 5 games, and he was coming off a time in Grand Rapids in 15 games when he had 7 goals and 21 points. So he arrived here pretty hot, too, at that point. Comes back to the line here to Kronwall, who gets it back from Franzen and just missed it on a nicely planned play.
It was a planned play, but a blind one. Almost worked.
And remember, the only reason Nyquist wasn't here to start the year was because of the cap crunch and who could go down and who couldn't. And the architect of it all, Ken Holland, will join us just prior to the start of the drop of the puck of period number 2. So late in the first intermission, Ken Holland will join yours truly, Ken Daniels, along with Nick. Here comes Datsuk in, knocked away from him. And Jordan Stahl able to clear it.
Oh boy.
A lot of players out there for both sides, and I think they've got Detroit for too many men.
This is going to be a bad call because nobody involved with the line change touched the puck. This was a regular guy on the ice. However, what they probably deemed here, there was just too many red bodies. Watch what happens here as this puck gets turned over. It's going to end up in this area. See, the puck here, you see the fire drill at the bench. The Kaiser was already on the ice, but too many guys in the vicinity, I guess, for the referee. And
so Gus Nyquist will go in and serve it. So the Carolina Hurricanes, 29th in the league in the power play, looking at just 14%. Jeff Skinner out there, he's their leader with 10 power play goals and 19 points. Red Wing penalty killing unit is 10th in the league. Andre Sekera moved that puck. Brought on here by Skinner through center. Skinner had some time injured earlier this season, missed 11 games in November. Moved in down low and across. Oh, and Skinner missed an open net. I'm not sure, but he fired it wide. Nearly had a career-high 32nd goal, but they score there. Out of the corner with it, Elias Lindholm. Good young player, first-round pick. They love this kid, and he gets a power play goal there.
Well, that was made look pretty easy, that's for sure. Skinner should have scored, but didn't. And then Lindholm, much like Riley Sheahan will do for the Red Wings, takes a pass down low, and he's got all kinds of room to come out in front when Jimmy Howard can't get the goal stick on him to poke check him. Bang. It's a scoring chance, and right off the inside of the far goal post, 1-0 power play goal. 41 seconds into the power play. There was Skinner a moment ago. He was even standing still and relaxed and missed it. Got the wrong side of the blade, but Carolina's on top right away.
Lindholm, the 5th overall pick last year. Carolina was behind early last night in their loss to Washington, and Joel Ward scored, and they really never recovered. But they have the lead here tonight. That puck's knocked down by Falk at center. Back to get it was Dwyer. Back to Falk. Loktionov and Harrison assisting at 8:15. Zalusti. Puck in back of the net, dug free. Derby went after it. Alfredson, his pass intercepted and sent back in as the Hurricanes in the midst of a change. Red Wings following suit. Nyquist will put it back for Brendan Smith. Good step to get away from Zalusti is brought on by Tatar. Sheahan moves up. Tatar interfered with on the way through. Back to get it. Danny DeKeyser at center. Lead pass there by Kindle. Nyquist with a good move. Nyquist dropped it back to Tatar and a shot. Oh, and just trickled wide. Circling the goal, and Nyquist sent it high. Tatar going to get it. Back to the line for DeKeyser. Tipped in front. Good save there by Cam Ward. Kindle with a pass for Nyquist, who's got 12 goals the past 14 games. Sheahan coming in. Back to the line here to Kindle. His shot was blocked. Quincy goes back. Kindle sees his group is changing. Skinner up on the forecheck as Quincy sent one ahead for Datsu. Backhanded in deep. Franzen first in. He's looking to get on track. Just one goal the past 18 games for Franzen. Failing to get it out was Nash, and then it came back to center. And bouncing down that Smith will settle. Past the halfway point here in the opening period. A power play goal for Carolina at 8:15 from Elias Lindholm, 1-0. Chipped into Red Wing territory as Lashoff goes back. A change on the deep pairings for Detroit. A giveaway by Lashoff. Loktionov lost it. Came loose back into the high slot as Manny Malhotra moved it back to the line. Shot wide of the goal. Loktionov is first on it. Andrei Loktionov went back to the line. Then it's knocked away. Alfredson up the right wing. He got checked at the line, and it's called on the offside. So we'll step out. Carolina in a 1-0 lead on Fox Sports Detroit Plus.
These things are all special, I think, when you're done. And you go look back and you say, or in the summer at the fire when you got a buddy you can actually share what you think with, or your dad or something like that. Other than that, you know, there are things you've achieved and you want to achieve more. And so to me, that's what it's about.
Yeah, he'll be talking about it over a fire and a ginger ale. Talking about hunting that earlier in that day, I'm sure, and then reminiscing about all of that. There are the candidates. Because of what Mike Babcock has done this year, the Jack Adams thing doesn't matter for this, but with the young team and all the injuries, he will get plenty of votes, I'm sure, for Coach of the Year, along with those other gentlemen who've also done a wonderful job.
He's already got mine. I already cast my ballot, and I don't mind saying I think the job he's done this year, the broadcasters vote for the Jack Adams Trophy, and in the year that he passed Jack Adams for most wins in Red Wings history. And let's not forget the job he did at the Olympics. Yes, it's not the National Hockey League, but how much work and effort goes into that, and how he's managed to keep this group. He was a finalist for Coach of the Year in 2008, Mike was, and that year he was voted by his peers in the Sporting News Coach of the Year. He won it, but did not win the Jack Adams Trophy that year.
I'm not sure that a lot of these coaches really want to win that award. It's been a real albatross around their necks, a lot of them, hasn't it?
I think if he were to ever lose his job, he'd be hired elsewhere in a day, maybe quicker than Bruce Boudreau was.
Well, they would, but who likes to change?
I know.
You don't have to.
Puck is sent ahead. Knocked down at the line by Legwand. Good hold in. Only the second coach David Legwand's played for, because Barry Trotz all that time in Nashville. Been there since the inception. Here comes Brendan Smith with a hard shot that Cam Ward belted away.
Well, was that a replay of a couple of nights ago in Buffalo? There's an icing called. He scored a goal. to tie that game. It was a big goal, and Brendan Smith has done a nice job in the second half. He's mad at himself. He was a big offensive guy in Wisconsin in the college ranks and received lots of awards for that. But he's enjoyed playing with Nicholas Kronwall for the most part because Ericsson's been hurt, and it's been a nice combination for Mike Babcock. Smith, really, you don't even realize he only played 48 games before this season, and now a full season, his first in the NHL.
Draw was won by Datsyuk. Now Franzen with a shot and through traffic. Cam Ward held on to that, and as we mentioned off the top, Ward has taken a back seat pretty much this year to Anton Hudobin, who's been terrific. Now the last 31 of Hudobin's 33 starts, he's allowed 3 goals or fewer. Cam Ward's got 2 years left on his contract. As you look at Hudobin, who's got the best save percentage of any goalie who's played at least 30 games this year. So you know, despite Ward's credentials in the past and a Stanley Cup, you got to think he's going to be relegated to backup, and he's got a big contract for a couple of years. He could be traded. That's a possibility.
Injuries have been his biggest bugaboo.
Right.
It really messed him up after those great years in the Stanley Cup in Carolina. He's been beat up a lot.
He missed upwards of 7 weeks this season due to injury. He played in the 3-2 overtime loss to Detroit in Raleigh, their home opener, in the second game of the season for Detroit after they beat Buffalo. And then Stephen Weiss, you remember that night, got the overtime winner after Henrik Zetterberg tied up the game very late. Here comes Nyquist going in. Stops, looks. Tatar back to him. Open net, missed it. Tatar with a great move.
Look at this little son of a gun.
And the little water bug finally got knocked down. Boy, Nyquist and Tatar, and the fans are buzzing, and they've done a lot of that.
Are they ever?
Fun to watch. We'll have to ask Ken Holland when he joins us, Mick.
There's nothing they won't try, these guys.
No. We'll have to ask Ken Holland which was more nerve-wracking for him, as this will be icing. Was it the final 4 games last year that the Red Wings had to win? Or was it this year coming down? Because the way these kids have gone, here's Nyquist's chance.
They're making plays like this that are not rookie plays. They're veteran plays. And he actually looked like he made a save on that. First it looked like the puck went wide, but boy, Nyquist, again, around the net. He is just so creative. You see Tatar goes back to him. Oh, boy.
Quincy getting it back for DeKeyser. They're back together. Here's Yurko. Alfredson back to Yurko, protected himself from going in heavy to the boards. Helm with a good hit there on Riley Nash, former Edmonton Oilers first-round pick in 07. Cutting to the goal with Skinner. And Howard will hold on, and a nice rush there from number 53, Jeff Skinner. You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit Plus, presented by Bell Tire.
Our good friend Ted Lindsay, number 7, underwent heart surgery a few days ago. All is well. Ted's up and walking. Going to be working out pretty soon again, they say. So way to go, Teddy, watching the game tonight in the hospital. We're very happy for you, part of the Red Wing family. All the best to you, and also a very special Red Wing hello and best wishes to Dave Smith of Monroe, who started listening and watching the Red Wings back in 1959 on radio. Al Nagler was the play-by-play guy then. Met Dave the other night, and he said he's been to the Joe, and the Red Wings have never lost when he's here. I said, boy, we got to have you around more often.
Yeah, I guess so.
Way to go, Dave.
Loose in front of the net as Legwand is able to get it away. Glendening on the backhand, and a piece of that by Brett Belmore. Here's Miller. Drew Miller waits, cuts to the middle, still with it.
Oh, my.
Too many bodies in front as Nathan Gerby, the Oxford, Michigan native, carried it out to center. And Miller's there to knock it away. Brendan Smith back for Datsyuk. Red Wings in the midst of a change. Franzen. Lead feed, Abdelkader. Taken to the boards by Falk. Datsyuk to the line for Quincy. Back of the net, Abdelkader to Franzen. Datsyuk looked for open ice. He was covered, though, by Eric Stahl. Abdelkader reaching for it. Now he gains control. Ball pushed him to the boards. Datsuk second man in. Puck squirts free as it's sent out to center by Zach Boychuk. Just called up from Charlotte in the American Hockey League, where he was leading the league in goals and power play goals. Number 32, Zach Boychuk. Alex Semin out of the lineup for Carolina tonight. He didn't make the trip. Got hit late in the game, and no Radek Dvorak. He's out as Nathan Gerby came in for him. Those are the changes for the Hurricanes from last night's 5-2 loss at home to Washington. Datsuk to Nyquist. Into the glove of Cam Ward, who will just hold on for a face-off with exactly 4 to go in a period that has the Red Wings out shooting Carolina 11-4. Well, Red Wing fans, it's more than hockey, it's playoff hockey. Get tickets for round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs today to cheer on the Wings in their 23rd consecutive postseason appearance. Ticket executives are standing by. You can get a hold of them at 313-471-7575 right now. It's going to be either Pittsburgh or Boston, and dates in this building still to be determined. We know that if it's Pittsburgh, the Red Wings will open there on Wednesday. If it's Boston, they'll be in there on Thursday. After that, we're not sure.
What we are sure of, though, is that we've got round 1 here on Fox Sports Detroit. And if it's, well, either one, Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be bringing you either game from Pittsburgh or Boston. Times will yet to be determined, but 23 straight years in the playoffs. We're happy for that. We're happy to have round 1 again here on Fox.
We'll be on the sidelines for only the weekend afternoon games, which will go to NBC at that time.
Well, it looks like if it's Boston, it'll be game 2. And if it's Pittsburgh, it'll be game 3, which will be played here in Detroit.
Right. Last shot. Back for Jakob Kindl. Alfredsson checked. Third on the team in goals with 18 for Alfredsson. Tied for second in points with Nick Kronwall with 49. Depending how you want to look at it, they could be leading if you don't count David Legwand's 51 as the team leader, since he's playing in just his 20th game as a Red Wing. That's knocked back into the corner there by Jay Harrison. He's been a steady defenseman for the Hurricanes. Turning with it was Dwyer. Darren Helm skates it ahead. Boy, has he been great in the face-off circle the last 3 games, Helm. Back at center. Finding his legs after so much time off. Back for Legwand. Legwand with 4 goals as a member of the Red Wings. 2 of those 4 game winners. And 11 points in 19 games. Brendan Smith threw it his way as Legwand went to the front of the net. Taken out by Drayson Bowman. And a bouncing puck wide of Howard. De Kaiser gets bumped there by Bowman. Quincy. His long stretch pass found Legwand left at the line, and Loktionov couldn't clear first try, and back come the Hurricanes goal. Back in for Eric Stahl, and a heavy shot, the rebound, they score! Yuri Tolusti, the opportunistic one, gets his 16th of the season, and it's 2-0 Hurricanes.
Well, this puck shouldn't end up in the net just because you turn it over at the far blue line, but it does. And let's take a look at what we see on the high wide look. You'll see 3 Red Wings right here when this puck gets turned over, and they're in the middle of a line change. But again, that shouldn't matter. But it's a 2-on-3. Hold it right there, guys. It's 3-on-4. So how does everybody get open? Go ahead and run it. Everybody, you take this guy, take your eye off the back flare. Boom. Into the open net. They get position. You can't drag them down, or you're going to the box. And that's a alert play by Tolusti to get in behind the Detroit defense, but not so good for the Red Wings to allow him to get there when they were even at center ice.
Tolusti had a shorthanded goal last night in the loss at home to Washington, and gets a goal here. He led the Hurricanes last year with 23 in the shortened campaign. He's got his 16th this season. Acquired from the Toronto Maple Leafs, former 13th overall pick by the Leafs in 06, Yuri Tolusti. Hindle will turn with it. Well, the Red Wings with some work to do here. The Hurricanes were down 2-0 to the Capitals last night and didn't recover, so reversal of fortune for them. There's Dwyer's back to get it. Dwyer for Falk. Out to center off Gerby. He's small, but he's quick. And a hard worker, Nathan Gerby. Wired after Buffalo bottom out. Tatar. Here comes Sheahan. There's the pass to him. Off his glove, though. Batted ahead by Jordan Staal to center. 20 seconds to go in the opening period. Shots are 11-8 Detroit. But the score favors the Hurricanes. Jay Harrison with a lead pass that's tipped into Red Wing territory. Just seconds remaining in the opening period. It now comes to its conclusion.
And this is a period that looks like a period that you play after you know you've clinched a playoff spot. The intensity was not there. Detroit's down 2-0. And if they want to have a chance to play Pittsburgh and to get that 7th spot, they must win this game tonight.
Ken Holland will join us prior to dropping the puck to start the second. Right now, our Ram intermission continues with John Keating.
All right, Kenny, thank you. This intermission report is presented by Ram Trucks. Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. Carolina Hurricanes trying to win in Detroit for the first time in officially forever. Up 2-0 on the playoff-bound Red Wings after one period of play. A couple of programming notes. Tigers are in San Diego to take on the Padres tonight. It'll be Rick Porcello on the mound for Detroit. That game comes your way here on Fox Sports Detroit Plus at 10 p.m. And the Pistons are in Chicago tonight to take on the Chicago Bulls. That's over there on our main channel. And as Ken Daniels mentioned, Ken Holland will visit with Ken and Mick at the beginning of the second period. All right, well, we talked, I guess, about what we feared tonight, and this is pretty much exactly what we feared after clinching a playoff spot. You don't want to look bad against a team that's just playing out the string.
Human nature took over there in that first period. It certainly was a situation where Mick hit it right on the head in the conclusion of that first period where you talked about the intensity wasn't there. Yeah, you outshot them 11-5, but you really didn't do the hard things. You weren't hard on the puck. You didn't make them play hard in their own zone, because if you do that to the Carolina Hurricanes, you'll have success. You didn't make them play a hard period of hockey.
The desperation ranking was 0 that period. They not physical, not forechecking, but to be expected after coming off a huge emotional point, which, by the way, they're working to get to that point for a very, very long time, grinding away every single night, playing big games, winning big games against Boston, going into Pittsburgh winning, going into certain places where we thought they might not win, and they won. So this is to be expected, but now what they have to do is they have to regroup in that dressing room after the first period and play the way they're supposed to, so it doesn't roll over into the next game.
We can assume they're getting a stern talking to in the Red Wings dressing room downstairs after the first period of play in the last home game of the regular season. David Legwand with a chance, but that's all in the first period.
Carolina with 2 in the first. The Red Wings still have some work to do and still don't know whether they'll be 7th or 8th in the Eastern Conference, but they're in the playoffs for another year, and the architect of the Red Wings, Ken Holland, joins us. And Ken, outside of maybe that cup year of 08, how proud are you of this group that you've got this year?
Well, very proud. You know, the adversity started really, I think, in early December. I think we were 7 games over 500, and then Zetterberg went down. I think the Kaiser and Eriksson were down, and Franson went down shortly after. And I thought for 3 months, right up until the Olympic break, we did, Mike Babcock and the coaches and the youth in our organization really allowed us to stay afloat. And then, you know, we're 9-4-2 our last 15, so we obviously played our way in, and we've had a lot of great stories, and excited that we're in for another opportunity.
Yeah. Last year wasn't a picnic either. You had to win your last 4 or 5 games to get in. That was nail-biting. How about this year?
Well, I think you know, this year was longer, 82 games. You know, last year was a sprint, and it didn't go quite as long. But, you know, last year we came to the rink every night, Mickey. You know, Pav was in the lineup, Z was in the lineup, right. and most of our core group was in the lineup. This year our core group started to go down in early December. And I think, you know, it's the first time, I think, since Pav and Z showed up that they both rode out of the lineup together for this length of time. didn't really know what was going to happen, and obviously a lot of people played well.
Given that, Red Wing fans would like to know, how about an update on Eriksson and Zetterberg especially, and what have you thought of Datsuk in his return?
Oh, I think Pav's getting better every game. I think when you've been out as long as he has, it takes you a while to get ramped up. But he's always great defensively, and he does a lot of good things without the puck. The other two guys, maybe late in the first round, planning that let's plan that they're not going to be back, and hopefully later in the first round we're talking about them coming back.
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, by the way, on 23 straight. You've been around for a lot of those, so
yeah,
good stuff.
It's a good number. Hopefully we keep it going.
2 weeks ago, everybody had you out, so good stuff, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
As the second period is underway, as the Hurricanes, with their own line sent ahead by Lyles, knocked away as Abdelkader will give chase. Falk is there first for Lyles. Tapped ahead at center, but knocked down. Franzen gives it to Abdelkader. Datsuk moved in on the forecheck as Lyles sends one around. Justin Falk goes off the stick. Brendan Smith down ice, and they're going to call this one icing against Carolina. And Mick just mentioned to Mr. Holland about the playoff streak in 23 consecutive years. The Red Wings with the longest active streak going, and most seasons all time. Boston at that wonderful run they had from 68 to 96 and 29, so the Red Wings still with some work to do to get there. But the longest active streak in pro sports going with the Red Wings now at 23. They win the face-off to DeKeyser, and they say that just came out across the line. Sharp eye right there of Brian Spancic, the linesman, although DeKeyser disputes that.
Pretty quiet lad, Danny DeKeyser. Doesn't say much. Big difference, boy, when you come in this league when you're 23 years old instead of 18 or 19. Both physically and mentally. Big, strong boy, mature. And he's not one to get a roller coaster of emotions, as you see there. He's pretty low-key.
Glendening with a hard hit on Jordan Staal. And they're still battling side of the net. Glendening without a stick as Quincy got an arm up to protect himself against Dwyer's hit. A long shot in by Brett Belmore, who scored his first NHL goal here in the 4-3 loss, the former Plymouth Whaler. Back goes John Michael Lyles, the former Michigan State Spartan from 99 to 03. Spent a few years in Ann Arbor before that with the U.S. National Team Development Program, did Lyles. Falk trying to contain Tatar. Looked in front of the net for Sheahan. Back to the line to Lashoff. And a piece of that by Ward. And they tried to bank one in off him, did Nyquist. But he'll hold on. And mentioning Danny DeKeyser moments ago as we bring you our McDonald's fun fact along with Riley Sheahan, the first Red Wings rookie teammates with 22 or more points since Nick Lidstrom and Vladimir Konstantinov back in 91-92.
Wow, 22 years ago. Vladdy was here tonight, visiting the guys in the dressing room before the game. He does that on a regular basis. 22 years ago. Boy.
Dumped into the corner by Bowman.
We never had that. You know what that tells you, though, part of that? We didn't have a lot of rookies through a lot of those years. There were a lot of veteran guys and trade deadline guys, pickups.
Knocked away by Alfredson. Tried to get ahead. He did. Yurko's in. And he got hooked and no call. At least from here it looked like he was hooked. Maybe not. We'll get another look at it. Manny Malhotra intercepts. What a great story for number 22 in white. Loktionov. As Malhotra coming back from a very serious eye injury. Vancouver thought he was done.
Great story.
For reasons that for his own good, but Manny persisted and is still playing and one of the best face-off men in the league. Oh, a giveaway there by Alfredson. Eric Staal took a whack at it. Alfredson will wind up with it. He's getting away with Yurko. Alfredson played it back to the line. But the Hurricanes stall with a lead pass. Eric's attempt didn't work. Pavel Datsuk The hand to Abdelkader was checked immediately. Now it's tipped in by Zach Boychuk. Flipped ahead by Franzen. Played by Ward. He moves the puck well. Brendan Smith missed Abdelkader with it. It came back for Smith again. Knocked away by Gerby, who stays with Brendan Smith. Franzen got checked. Datsuk couldn't get the puck. He was in a tough spot. Chip back, Ron Hainsey. The loss of Jani Pitkanen with that broken heel for the season, and Hainsey's been a good addition in Pitkanen's absence for this team. Just underneath the clock at center as Lyles moved it ahead, and it's sent in by Jordan Stahl. And along with brother Eric, we're both second overall picks, albeit 3 years apart. No bragging rights in that regard in the family. They played rarely together this year. They were together last night. Big hit by Legwan. Popped up go to Skinner. That shot went wide. Legwan without a helmet.
What a wonderful sight.
Quincy mixing it up behind the play along with Skinner. Sheahan got in front of Nash. Nyquist sent it through to Sheahan. Save made, rebound. Tatar and Ward. He didn't get enough on it. Skinner's all alone across center, and in it goes. Hurricanes in the midst of a change.
It's a couple for Tatar. He fanned on that backhander. He's done all around it.
Sheahan on the intercept. Sheahan's got it again to Gus Nyquist. Couldn't break through. Tatar. Loktionov knocked him down. Helm tries to check Loktionov. He gets it over on the left wing for Bowman. Put on the brakes. Threw it back into Loktionov. Now to Manny Malhotra. Signed to a one-year deal on Halloween. Bowman. There's the crowd with the Let's Go Red Wing chant, trying to get them back in this game with 6 minutes gone in period number 2.
Well, to get back in this game, they do have to score the next goal. I know they've come back from a 3-0 deficit before, but not tonight. They don't want to go down 3-0. And again, we pretty much have to win this game tonight to finish in 7th spot.
Helm using his speed to come in. Puts on the brakes. Alfredson got it. Oh, and a good save by Ward.
Penalty.
And a penalty coming here to the Hurricanes. Red Wings will go to a power play. Be back with it. Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit Plus, presented by Bell Tire.
The medley of replays coming at you here. Here's a penalty that probably should have been called. It's a love tap on the wrist, but they call that all year long, but not this time. Don't know why. And then Riley Sheahan with a good shot and a rebound that is whiffed or fanned on by Tatar. He's had a rough night that way. And then a penalty here that probably shouldn't have been a penalty. He just slid underneath him, and he went down. Huh?
That's a trip. Can't take his feet out. Sure.
No, but he wasn't even. He didn't try to by that replay. He was just been followed through as Darren pulled up. But one offsets the other. I guess they'll take the power play, and they need to score. Got away with that one.
So the Red Wings with the Bell Tire power play as Franzen gives it to Nyquist.
Which means it's time for a Red Wings power play.
Back to the line for Kronwall to Datsuk to Kronwall. The shot hit a stick and went wide. Kronwall leading in power play points with 25. Datsuk looked in front. Kronwall's got it again. 5 goals with the man advantage for Kronwall. Could be the first Red Wing defenseman since Paul Coffey in the shortened season to lead the team in scoring. 49 points, tied with Daniel Alfredson. Gus Nyquist went back for Datsyuk, came back to Nyquist, to Datsyuk in front. Legwand fumbled with it. Thought about going to Franzen for a split second.
Two of them there and nobody else.
Nyquist with it. Good work by Legwand. Here's Datsyuk. Legwand in front. Finds Nyquist off his stick, and he couldn't hold it in. Right back in here to Franzen. Kronwall in front of the net now. He'll go back to the point. Pavel Datsyuk. Kronwall shooting, tipped and wide. Franzen, Kronwall in front. Knocked away.
Ooh.
Cleared to the line, but not out by Jordan Staal. Saved by Ward. Hammered down to the ice was Legwand. Jordan Staal again, can't clear. Datsyuk shooting, saved by Ward. Datsyuk, another one. Franzen missed it.
Wow.
And a break here for the Hurricanes. And Staal able to move it up the wing. And Howard will settle that down off the shot from Falk. As the penalty to Hainsey is now expired. Franzen's been out there for the full power play. He'll finally go off.
You don't see that very often. They were 57 seconds, most of them on that of the 2 minutes, and usually it's a split with two different power plays on the ice, but they had such great possession with nothing to show for it.
Kronwall just now got off. The Kaiser in front of his own goal. Turn around, saved by Howard. On a chance by Skinner. And a bouncing puck, Belmore. For Skinner, nice little kick play there to Riley Nash by Skinner. The former figure skater made a nice little play with the skates right there. As it's brought back here on the left wing side by Quincy to center. Tatar. Yurko. Backhand, saved by Ward.
Look out here.
3-on-1. If the Hurricanes want to go. Hustling back is Glendening as Skinner's got it on the wing, back in front of the goal. Howard got over to stop that. Another one, sprawling save. Oh, slashed at was Tatar. Now the Red Wings the other way. Helm on the right wing. Glendening to the goal. Rebound, and Ward will hold on.
Wow, the crowd liked that for sure. Well, this could be with half a period to go and half a game to go. A game changer with Jimmy Howard and a couple of saves here. Full-blown 2-on-1. Skinner tried to pass it. I thought he was going to shoot. And then Howard gets that second one nicely. Up off the cuff of the arm right there. And then Kindle looked like he saved a goal. So good teamwork by Kindle and Jimmy Howard. A couple of giveaways uncharacteristic of number 11. Jordan Staal. But full control by Detroit, boy. And several scoring chances. Not necessarily shots, but good-looking power play there.
Helm with that great hustle to hold the puck in. Then had a his man check. Offside is Carolina. They'll have to tag up. The hollering of the linesman informed them of that.
I was going to say, you better have your cough candies with you if you're a linesman. You got to have a good voice. You're letting everybody on the ice and half the world know that it's either offside or onside or icing or not.
Kept in by Bowman, then outside the line. Carolina will use the opportunity to change. As we're past the halfway point in this game, Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond with you. From Joe Louis Arena, the final home game of the season for the Red Wings. One more to go. That'll be in St. Louis on Sunday afternoon. 7th or 8th still to be decided in the Eastern Conference as far as the Red Wings are concerned. Carolina will miss the playoffs again. They've got one more to go Sunday in Philadelphia. Back of the net. Loose side of the goal. Datsyuk was there. Off the attempt by Dwyer. Franzen weaving his way into Hurricanes territory. Save made, rebound! Oh, and Abdelkader somehow missed. As that's tipped up in the netting and out of play.
He's looking skyward wondering, how can I miss a wide open net? There's been a couple of those for the Red Wings here tonight. Bang off the big pad and wide open. Abdelkader, no cigar there. We'll be back.
Well, Paul McLean's Ottawa Senators missing the Stanley Cup playoffs, and to a man, the Senators will tell you in that room, yes, They do miss Daniel Alfredsson, his presence for sure. Let's take a look at the Flagstar Bank Star watch, and it is the motivated vet Daniel Alfredsson. The last half dozen games with 5 helpers and 6 points. Second on the team with 49 points. Again, it's David Legwand in top spot with 51 and 4 game-winning goals to determine a guy who's never won a Stanley Cup. And whether he's got one more year left with the Red Wings remains to be seen. He said he'd love to re-sign in Detroit. He's loved his time here if he determines that he wants to keep playing another year. Back for Kindle. Bouncing puck. Mokhtianov able to get it over. Malhotra. Long shot in. Bowman goes there, but Kindle was there first. Reverse that. There's some room as Lashoff sends it off the skate of Thomas Jurko. Gathers it back in. Pass for Helm. Didn't work. So Justin Falk with it. 29 points in the season for him coming into the game tonight, and then he got an assist to give him 30. In front of the net, all alone, tip. Good save by Howard as Nash had the opportunity.
The strange bounce off the boards, and then a deflection really purposely right there. Just as good as a intended pass. Redirected out front and nobody there but a white jersey. And Jim Howard had to be alert on that one.
Riley Nash with the opportunity. Played at Cornell with his brother Brendan. Have to mention Cornell just for Darren Elliott. Anytime we can get Big Red in there.
More and more and more we talk about colleges where these kids are coming from. Programs of leaps and bounds.
Shan, who went to Notre Dame. And that was stopped by Ward. Conwell will go back on defense with Brendan Smith. Nyquist. There's Maine over to Wisconsin. And Smith will give it back to Conwell.
We're a university in Sweden, we're forgetting.
Well, Nyquist was there for a bit. Tatar just holds it in. Oh, and he ran into traffic and went down.
Jeez.
Tatar didn't go to college. Good save there by Howard. Tatar was in Grand Rapids at the age of 18, the youngest player in the American Hockey League. And Tatar just missed it. He's the first Red Wing draft pick to ever go to Grand Rapids in the year in which he was drafted. Ken Holland likes him overripe. Tatar started early. That's why he'll joke now he felt he was there for an eternity. Nearly 5 years. As Howard will hold on to that for a face-off.
Well, he's taken full advantage of that opportunity. And here's Riley Shane, who's done the same thing with his opportunity with injuries here in Detroit. And Tatar just trying to do too many things. Can't help but laugh.
Hey, wait a minute now. He's your player of the game,
I know,
remember.
I know.
99th career game for Tatar. Tonight, 24 goals and 45 points in the previous 98. And looking to become a 20-goal scorer this year for Detroit. Comes in with 19 tonight. That's why you were banking on him being a 20-goal man, weren't you?
That's right. Pretty good year.
Jay Harrison for Nathan Gerby. Plenty of family and friends here tonight to watch the Oxford native, Gerby. Drew Miller knocked it away from Jordan Stahl as Glendening into traffic, and somehow his helmet managed to stay on his head that time. Quincy kicked at it. He got checked. Turning is Elias Lindholm. The rookie's got a goal here tonight. Riley Nash on it again. Number 20 counterpart Miller was there to help, and then the Kaiser punched it away from Skinner. Big collision in the corner, and Quincy's going to get a penalty. As taken down was Lindholm, and it could be a high stick. And some more after.
You got to even that up over there.
Now the Kaiser comes in to grab Skinner.
Well, I'm surprised that there isn't more high sticks to protect yourself from the kind of runaway hitting that we have in the game today, and that's why so many players are hurt and have concussions on top of that. They're just allowed to run at each other. The word charging, the penalty rarely gets called, and it should be called sometimes 3 times in one shift. We see it way too much. To follow through with Quincy, protecting his space. Going to call that all day long for sure. We'll be back. 5:55 to go in the second.
Offsetting penalties is Quincy and Skinner.
Well, obviously he picked Skinner out of the pile. Quincy, in protecting his space, followed through with a stick. There's no question he whacked him in the face. When you're vulnerable like these defensemen are under these conditions and rules today, I'm just surprised there's not a whole lot more of this. For defensemen saying, you're going to run at me, you're going to pay a price.
So the teams are 4 aside here. Neither of these 2 teams have fared well at just 4 skaters aside this season, both in the minus department. Franzen up along with Pavel Datsyuk, who is the only player left playing in this game from the 0-2 Cup final. That was a night when
he was a rookie.
Yeah, the night when Carolina in that series did win in this building. Postseason, they've never won in here regular season, as Howard will hold on to that. As 1-800-HANSONS brings you tonight's report card on Carolina never winning a regular season game here. They were the Hartford Whalers when they last won here, November 14th, 1989. They lost the earlier meeting here this season, 4-3, November 21st. Red Wings had 47 shots on goal that night. And Gustav Nyquist scored a couple.
A lot of these guys weren't even born.
In 89, yeah.
Yep.
Tatar, a bouncer in that Ward deflects to the corner. Tatar back to get it. Kindle for Tatar, he lost it. A little too quick for his own good. Sheahan brings it back in. Harrison for Carolina. Behind the net for Hainsey. Turning with it is Riley Nash. Carried to center by Hainsey. Back for Nash. Ran out of real estate. Hit there by Kronwall, who gave it to Gus Nyquist. Got bumped in the corner and squeezed there. Then they double team on Nyquist. Brendan Smith for Alfredson. Smith joins the rush. Alfredson gives him a puck. Smith behind for Alfredson again, overskated as Falk leads it for Nash.
There's been a lot of fractured plays in this game, eh?
Yep.
Missed passes, overskates. That's where the intensity comes in. One team's not making the playoffs, the other one just guarantees a spot.
Alfredson takes a shot that Ward will hold on to as the teams return to 5 aside. And it's fan appreciation night tonight at the Joe as the Wings thank their loyal fans with hundreds of giveaways. Yes, we've seen a lot of smiling faces here tonight. But if you're not part of the 141st consecutive sellout crowd, you can still win big. Log on to Twitter and follow the Red Wings and Fox Sports Detroit for the chance to win amazing prizes. For more information, go now to DetroitRedWings.com. Turning with it is Legwand. The Red Wings have scored at least 3 goals in 8 consecutive games. Well, they need 1 here to get started to reach that, and they'll need at least 3 to get in front of Carolina here. No penalty on the play. Picked up here by Miller, and a shot goes high over top of the goal. In those 8 consecutive games where the Red Wings have scored at least 3, they're 5-2-1. And they've scored at least 3 in 12 of their last 13 games, in which they've gone 8-3-2. Well, this has been a terrific run. Not quite the nail-biting run down to the finish that it was last year with the big Henrik Zetterberg game in Dallas. And the Red Wings won their final 4 down the stretch to get in.
No, but in a different way, just as compelling because of the massive bunch of injuries to key guys, especially Datsyuk and Zetterberg, your two top offensive guys. But these young players have absolutely carried this team in the last 5 weeks.
37 Red Wings contributed to this record continuation of playoff success, including 15 who played for both Grand Rapids and the Red Wings this season. 8 debuting. The most since 91. Yes, it's been an amazing season. And a whole lot of fun in a nail-biting way. In front by Dwyer. Gerby couldn't get it. Datsyuk will carry ahead. His 5th game back from injury. Under 2 to play here in period number 2. Shots are 20-15 Detroit.
Tampa Bay 3-1 over Columbus. They started the same time. Neither team wins a game to finish the season out. Detroit finishes right where they are, which is 8th, and plays the Boston Bruins.
Columbus has the tiebreaker on Detroit.
That's right. And
Philadelphia has the tiebreaker on Detroit and Columbus.
And chances are, we got icing here. The Blue Jackets are in Florida tomorrow night. And Detroit will play St. Louis on Sunday afternoon. So Red Wings really, if they want to finish 7th, if you want them to finish 7th, you got to have them win this game here at home tonight and then see what happens in Tampa Bay. And one way or another, they're going to need to win tonight and probably get a point in St. Louis on Sunday to finish 7th.
Tatar getting one ahead, but Sheehan was offside as Gus Nyquist brought it in on the right wing.
And the other thing for these young players, Mike Babcock knows that they haven't been in the kind of play that they're going to have to contend with next week. And you'd like to go like every team and every coach. You want your team to go into the playoffs executing well, playing well, thinking the right things. In one game, even though, I mean, tonight they got 20 shots, they've had plenty of opportunities to score goals and could very easily be ahead. It's just not there, and it's a fractured kind of a game, but it's only one game.
Well, the good thing is some of these young kids went through it last year through Anaheim and then getting to Game 7 overtime with Chicago, and then they go to the Calder Cup with Jeff Blashill and the Griffins and win the whole darn thing. Yeah. So they have been through that pressure type, but you're right. It's a 2-month war of attrition, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and every night it just ramps up. And there's no better spectacle in sport than the opening round, I don't think. And there are always surprises, none more so than the 2 versus the 7 seed, as we've seen through the years when it comes to upset. And we saw it last year with Detroit taking out the heavily favored Ducks. And tonight, we'd like to welcome the Carolina Hurricanes fans watching us in several parts of the South, and we hope you enjoy the telecast. I was thinking we should throw in a hey, hey, what do you say just for John Forsland tonight and Trip Tracy, but I'd like to welcome those of you who are watching us tonight in several parts of the South tonight. And you're happy because regardless of the announced team that's with you, your Hurricanes are in the lead.
The score that counts, right?
That's right. A fake shot there. Lindholm gets dumped in back of the net and no arm in the air with the orange band on it.
Right there.
Nash threw it in front of the goal and tipped by Gerby just wide as 40 minutes are in the books, and it's 2-0. Carolina on the strength of the 2 first period goals from Lindholm and Talusti. Our MGM Grand Detroit intermission report. The Wings year in review, and there's lots to review with Darren, Chris, and John.
All right, Kenny, thank you. This intermission report is presented by MGM Grand Detroit. Well, it's not exactly hockey art that we're seeing on this Friday night at Joe Louis Arena. I guess you could make the case, though, that the Wings seem to have more jump in the second period.
Yeah, they had chances. They had chances in the first. They had chances in the second, but just not finishing like they have been down the stretch. They're just a little bit up. We all recognize it. We all see it. They're right there. The next goal, obviously, very, very important.
This is one of those games that a lot of people are happy didn't happen before they clinched to make the playoffs, where you had a goalie come in and steal a game. Cam Ward capable of doing that. He looks like he's on tonight, almost unbeatable. Red Wings should feel fortunate that this didn't happen when they were at home against Buffalo or a few other teams. Now they've already clinched. So thank their lucky stars that's happened after and not before.
All right, when we come back, we'll take you through what has happened thus far, what has transpired on the ice at the Joe. Both Carolina goals have them up 2-0.
On this fan appreciation night, the fans appreciating the Red Wings and their 23 years, yes, and counting, in the National Hockey League playoffs. The NHL began in 1917. And today, on this April 11th, Mick, an old broadcast partner of yours, we lost him all too early. Danny Gallivan was born on this day, and Danny used to say he came into the world in 1917, as did the National Hockey League.
Yeah, he was a dandy.
Sure was.
Great pleasure to work with Danny for 5 years at Hockey Night in Canada and Montreal on Saturday night, and Dick Irvin, and boy, oh boy, he was an amazing guy. I always talk about playing in Montreal, getting a start there with John Beliveau and Henry Richard and John Ferguson and the likes, and then to be able to go to Hockey Night and work with Danny Gallivan, Bob Cole, and all those great veterans, Dave Hodge. I couldn't have asked for more, either as a hockey player start or a broadcaster start.
Here comes Nyquist to start the third, with Tatar going to the goal. Nyquist right in, and he sent it high, and the net is off. And as Lyles, sliding back, took his goaltender Cam Ward in the net out of the play.
Well, the Red Wings have had lots of chances. Not this as good a chance, but they have missed the net like this a lot and missed shots in backhanders by Tatar, who's right there as well. But Nyquist really sailed that one wide. Tampa Bay continues to lead in their early third period over Columbus. And both teams have one game left after tonight. Tampa Bay, or rather Columbus, is in Florida tomorrow. And the Red Wings in St. Louis Sunday. Detroit really needs something out of this game tonight if they want to finish seventh.
And Tampa Bay fighting for home ice in the first round. We know they'll play Montreal, and Montreal shut out last night by an Islanders team ravaged by injuries 2-0. So that was shocking, and you could see when we saw Steve Yzerman in the Tampa game, just the look of fear, like, come on, guys. Let's go here. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, I look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, the other thing, Ken, is that Tampa Bay and Montreal are only 2 points apart.
Right.
That make that 1 point apart. Tampa Bay with a point behind Montreal, but they have a game in hand, and that's for home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. So they got everything to play for. Montreal's got the Rangers, I think, at home Saturday night. And Tampa Bay after
at Washington,
Columbus tonight.
And played ahead to center and to Kaiser knocking it down, and then the rest of the way by Jordan Staal. At the point, Belmore. Round it goes to Dwyer. To the point in the corner for Gerby. Check by Helm. Quincy. Stick check by Gerby. Persistence by Quincy. Off Glendenning's stick. And back in by Ron Hainsey. Near was a giveaway as DeKaiser went for Quincy, didn't see it in time, and bad guy with Skinner lurking.
You see that Tampa Bay Montreal that we were talking about there, and home ice fully still up for grabs. Right now it's Detroit and Boston to be determined whether they go against Pittsburgh or not in the next couple of nights. And for a team like Carolina, who's not going to be in the playoffs, yes, you're playing for jobs as you go forward to impress your coach and your general manager, whether it's Jim Rutherford or John Francis. They're both here tonight.
Legwan To Franzen, out along with Nyquist. Little change here off the outside of the post. Leg one tip through to Franzen. Passed ahead to Eric Staal, and at the line just onside. Brendan Smith with some room to skate. Alfredsson too far for Datsuk as Mike Babcock switched up the lines here to try to get something going in the third with Alfredsson joining Datsuk and Abdelkader. Point shot, Cronwall saved by Ward.
Never saw it, but good positioning by Ward.
Datsuk knocked it out of the air, then lost it to Yuri Talusti. To Eric Staal, who will lead Carolina in points and penalty minutes for a second consecutive season. Staal with 59.
Look out here.
Datsuk skating through. Stick check, and there's going to be a penalty, though, on the first hook, not the stick check. Slashing will be called.
Boy, Datsuk took this pass in full flight, and the crowd came out of their seats in expectation of what was coming, and that was an awful good defensive play there. And a terrible call for slashing.
Well, it was Jay Harrison before, not Commissar.
That one, right?
That's
yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I like it for the Red Wings, but it's a love tap. Oh my God!
But Mick,
it was on his backhand. I know.
They called them all.
Little love tap on the backhand, and
that's the game.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. Well, it'll change.
No, it won't.
It's going through a phase. Believe me, it will change. They aren't going to keep up this stuff for that long. No way. Fans won't put up with it. Look out here.
Back goes to Tar. De Kaiser for Alfredsson to Tatar. To Yurko. Sheahan in front of Ward. Yurko to Sheahan, tipped. Loose puck. They score! Sheahan! A Bell Tire power play goal.
By almost a replay of the Lindholm goal that got Carolina on the board. Riley Sheahan pulls it in front. He gets a second and maybe a third opportunity, almost a fourth opportunity before the net comes off to make it a 2-1 game. Bouncing puck. Ward can't handle it. It's bounced around there. Oh my, way to stay with it. That's nice effort by number 15. It was number 16, Lindholm, that started this thing off for Carolina on a very, very similar goal. Not 3 whacks at it, but a same type of play from the corner on the power play, coming out like that and smacking it in behind the goaltender.
So Riley Sheahan has the last 2 Red Wing goals. He scored with 1:15 left in Pittsburgh to tie the game. And he gets the Red Wings in a position now to tie this one down by 1 as Datsuk's shot went off the leg up into the netting and out of play. As Yurko and Tatar assist on this one at 3:43 on the power play. And now let's take you back to Wednesday. The point shot by Sheahan goes off Paul Martin in front of the goal. Right there.
Weird. But as weird as they get, just like the shootout goal by Jokinen to win the game for Pittsburgh. My goodness, that one. Talk about a bouncing ball.
So the Red Wings now 2 for 9 on the power play in the 3-game season series with the Hurricanes. Franzen stumbling, blew a tire.
Oh my goodness.
Datsuk over Franzen's stick. Using that big body, Datsuk across. Abdelkader tries to dig it free.
Well, Datsuk thought, without looking, he was going to get that puck to number 80, and he knew he was over there. But Carolina does a nice job to shut her down in front of their goaltender and not let that puck come loose to find the back of the net. Good follow-up shift, except for Franzen falling down. He had a full-blown 2-on-1 if he takes the pass. and he stumbled. Nobody around him.
Pavel Datsyuk played 21 minutes and 15 seconds against Pittsburgh on Wednesday. Helm won that faceoff, and Smith dumped it back in. Helm, one of only 4 Red Wings without a shot tonight. Glendening, Quincy, and Lashoff the others. So they've spread around these 23 shots among the 14 other skaters. Back to the point. Oh, and tipped by Miller. Helm over there to get it. Glendening chipped it to Drew Miller. Glendening to get it back of the net. Got hit awkwardly there by Eric Stahl.
Turned into it, though. They would deem that play.
In goes Zach Boychuk. Couldn't pick it up. Boy, to show what the draft, how a crapshoot it is. Zach Boychuk was taken 14th overall in 08, Mick. A pick before Erik Karlsson. And 2 picks before Jake Gardiner. Jordan Eberle went 22nd that year. You never know. Although Boychuk's been a nice role here when he's been called upon up from Charlotte.
Especially if it's 18-year-olds at the draft.
Yeah. Just don't know. And still a youngster, may turn out to be very good. Tatar will dump it in. De Kaiser to Tatar, tipped it through to Yurko. So Yurko's picked up Nyquist's spot on this line for the moment. Some juggling continues. Lindholm with it. Just out of Nash's reach to the point. Default sailed off his stick off the glass. Pavel Datsyuk is playing his 19th shift of the night. And at 14.5 minutes right now for Pavel. Alfredson for Abdelkader. Stick knocked out of Abdelkader's hand. He wanted a penalty, none coming. So Abdelkader without one continues to shove there.
20,000 people recognize that one.
Lockdown gets checked. Thomas Eric put it in. Datsyuk will skate it out. Surrounded by 4 white sweaters. And Lyles pins him to the boards. Franzen second man in. Nyquist waiting. Kindle. Back to Datsyuk again. We'll never say die attitude. What a play by Nyquist. Almost deked himself out there. Pavel exhausted goes to the bench. Nyquist will turn. Dump was Kronwall, gives it to Nyquist. Now to Legwand. Takes the shot and a save by Ward. And saying deflected out of play, although Legwand will argue the case that Carolina shot it out of play themselves.
Double jeopardy because the faceoff comes outside if that's the case. So it's now 2-1, 11:53 to go in the third. We'll be back.
Well, congrats to Brendan Shanahan, who went from being a punishing hitter to punishing hitters to a glutton for punishment, perhaps, named the new president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that means the business side of things. So a lot coming up on Brendan Shanahan's plate as he's left the league office, Mick, to join the Toronto Maple Leafs, to be officially announced on Monday.
Yeah, and the big tough defenseman, Stefan Quintal, has taken over for Brendan, and he handed out a 4-game suspension right off the hop. Quintal played for 16 years and had over 1,300 penalty minutes, so he knows what it's like to
he'll be a good guy to replace him. Yeah, and a tough job for Stefan Quintal, and maybe a tougher job for Brendan Shanahan. More on that in a moment as the Red Wings Quincy. Miller to center. For Helm. Back to Miller. Ward played it right back inadvertently to Miller again. He gets checked by Eric Stahl. Glendening kicked it along. To the line it comes to Brendan Smith. And a wrist shot. Knocked down and the Hurricanes clear it away. Carolina and the Red Wings both in the midst of changes. Quincy right in front of his own goal. Got it over for Smith. Sheahan, who has a Red Wing goal, knocked it in out there with Tatar and Yurko. Gerby. Off the boards. Yurko was there. To Kaiser for Detroit. Back to Kronwall. Tatar turning to get away from the skating of Gerby, who knocked him down. Turned over at center. Nash for Carolina. Thomas Yurko couldn't get through. Now to Kaiser and Riley Nash. Nash has it. Shot fanned on, and Howard made the save. A Skinner with the chance, tried to bank one in off Howard. That's Carolina's first shot of the third period, and it came at the halfway point of it. 26-16 in the game for Detroit. They lead by a goal. Carolina led 2-0 after the first period of play on goals by Lindholm and Tuloski. Lindholm's on the power play. Here comes Datsyuk. Over to Abdelkader.
Oh,
what a stop! Oh my, what a save by Cam Ward to keep it a one-goal lead for his Hurricanes.
That's unbelievable. Magnificent goaltender. Wow.
Sure was. And Abdelkader missed a great try earlier. Nyquist missed an attempt earlier. Tatar's had chances.
Well, we'll look at this one again, but Datsyuk didn't realize that Abdelkader was there till the last minute. Still made a beautiful pass, but boy, was Ward on top of that. Oh my God.
Again, Carolina looking for their first ever regular season win in this building, as Jimmy Howard will hold on. So, you want to see some great goaltending? Here's an example. Great stop, Cam Ward. It remains 2-1, Carolina. It's the Hurricanes in the lead by 1 thanks to Cam Ward's great stop. Some news and notes from around the league. We told you about Brendan Shanahan, president of all things for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and his spot taken at the NHL office by Stefan Cantel, who suspended Mike Rupp for 4 games for a bad hit on TJ Oshie, and that'll hurt the Blues. And Boston moved 3 points ahead now of Anaheim in the race for the President's Trophy. Ryan Miller struggled a bit lately for St. Louis. 10-6-1. That'll be held by Howard is Ryan Miller, but in the last 9 he is 3-6 for the St. Louis Blues, and if they lose Oshie for any significant period of time, that'll be trouble. And if Dallas beats St. Louis tonight, Mick, the Stars clinch the last spot in the West because they'll be up by 4 points and have the tiebreaker, and the game in Phoenix with Dallas, which could decide it Sunday night, may be meaningless.
Yep. Well, more important for the Blues, they just want to get playing well. They didn't play too badly last night by reports, although they lost the game. But 4 straight after the year they've had is probably very unnerving for Blues fans.
Here comes Helm, unnerving with his speed for Carolina. Helm right in on goal! Oh, and he sent it high! Not sure whether Ward got a piece of that or not, but a nice move by Helm. Wow, can he have you on your heels?
He sure did. He's got everybody out of their seats here at the Joe, too. What a fake there.
On Lyles.
God. He caught a rut, really, and Ward gets a piece of this with the blocker. He tried to go, I don't know if he's trying to get it up or not. If he wasn't, he should have been. But, yeah, it was just too close. But Ward, again, great positioning. And that's the 5th quality scoring chance for the Red Wings in this period. Sheahan with a couple, Nyquist with 1, Abdelkader, and there, Darren Helm. So Ward has been the first star of this period for sure.
Nathan Gerby. Along with Dwyer as Howard will hold it. Well, it's more than hockey. It's playoff hockey, and tickets for round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs to cheer on the Wings in the 23rd consecutive postseason appearance. You can get them today at DetroitRedWings.com or during normal business hours. Call 313-471-7575. Off the face-off. Shot that Howard will hold on to again. And, you know, Mick, we're talking about the teams that were chasing Detroit, and Detroit and Columbus come over to the east and get in. Maybe the most amazing thing when you look at it, that New Jersey, missing the Stanley Cup playoffs, they were 0 for 12 in shootouts this year. I know regulation overtime wins is the first tiebreaker, but the New Jersey Devils went 3 for 43 in the shootout. Only 3 goals on 43 attempts in the shootout. Even if they'd won a few of those games, they're right in the hunt.
I would hope that they practiced that a lot in the last 6 weeks.
Well, where's Chuck and Parise when you need it?
Boy. True. Yeah.
They've lost some talent, but as much as the Red Wings had struggled, remember they'd lost 11 straight going back before Daniel Alfredsson beat Toronto in the shootout.
Yeah, they weren't much better, really.
He's the guy, Daniel Alfredsson, who scored the first ever shootout deciding goal in the National Hockey League when it came into being in 2005. He's a member of the then Ottawa Senators. Alfredsson is checked, stayed with it. Abdelkader to Datsuk. Whoa! Pavel Datsuk put the hit into Falk. Alfredsson got checked. It's pushed past Kindle. Good recovery, and then Lashoff went tumbling down.
Sure did.
Skinner. In front, knocked away. Back to the line it comes to Harrison. Alfredsson. Too far for Abdelkader. Red Wings getting a wholesale change. Lockdown off, chips it in and goes after it. Rifled back into Detroit territory by Harrison. Lockdown able to get a stick on the puck. Right back in by Malhotra. Tatar. Got checked from behind by Boychuk. Yurko. Slices the backhand. Getting to the puck first was Tatar to Quincy. Yuri Talusti couldn't get it out. Glendening to cover. Miller took a hit. Has it on his stick. Found Quincy. Back in front of the goal. Helm knocked it down. Still loose. Good hustle there on this shift by Miller. Who stays with it. Dwyer on the right wing boards. Over to the left side. And sent in by John Michael Lyles. Took a strange bounce. In back of the net. Gerby. Saved by Howard. Rebound right to Legwand. To Nyquist. Now Nyquist, Legwand, and Franzen. Jordan Stahl brings it into the Red Wing end. For Gerby. From an acute angle, he'll turn back. Goes to the line with it. Sent in by Hainsey. Kronwall, behind the safety of his goal, gives it to Gus Nyquist. Abdelkader on the right wing. Nyquist checked by Nash. And the whistle goes.
I don't know what they're calling.
There's 6 Red Wings out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. Too many men on the ice to Detroit. Mike Babcock not happy, as you can imagine. With under 5 to play in the third, we'll be back.
4:36 to go. Numbers don't lie, and here's exactly what happened. It's our high wide angle. You'll see 4 Red Wings here on the ice, and here comes the cavalry coming over the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, and only 2 go off. Oh my gosh, bodies everywhere.
So it's a Carolina power play. That's how they got their first goal tonight from Lindholm. Carolina's power play was 3 for 14 the previous 6 games before tonight. They're 1 for their only chance this evening. Lyles mans the right point, gives it to Eric Stahl. Looked for the return pass, but it was knocked away.
Good job by Miller to stay with Stahl after he made the play and went to the front of the net.
And right back down by Lashoff. Cam Ward, J.M. Lyles to Riley Nash. Helm in behind chasing. Nash shoots it in. Howard to tee it up. And again, rifled down by Brian Lashoff.
Lashoff's done a nice job this year. He's been a pretty much regular in the lineup with all the other injuries, and he plays a lot of time killing penalties.
Danny to Kaiser. Bonwall. And down it goes.
Cornwall's got a skate problem. Boyer's working on it at the bench.
Skinner. To the point it comes to Harrison. Back for Jeff Skinner at the half boards. Shot just wide of the goal and all the way back down. Harrison for Justin Falk. 30 points in the season for Falk. Sent in by Zach Boychuk. As the penalty is now over for too many men as Nyquist serving it out of the box, but it skipped past him, and the speed of Helm will get there to negate any icing. He and Lyles came together. Just over 2 to go. No shots in that last Carolina power play. Gus Nyquist, rested after serving that penalty, comes into Carolina territory. Datsuk had it knocked away. Remember, the Hurricanes played last night. Traveled here after their loss to Washington at home. Smith. So now with the leg building up now. They intercept that pass attempt by Detroit under 2 to go. Remember, the Red Wings still in a battle with Columbus. For that matter, Philadelphia, on who will be 7th or 8th. The first or second wild card spot. 8th will play Boston. 7th will play Pittsburgh. So much still on the line here. As it's brought in, Howard looks to the bench. Not going yet. As we have 90 seconds to go in the third period. Tatar. Who assisted along with Yurko on Sheahan's goal. Tip from across center and in. Howard not out yet. Red Wings want some control here.
Good icing? Oh, wow.
It will be.
Oh, boy. I don't think they
Maybe a
wanted
timeout
that.
upcoming here with 1:13 to go. And a chance to bring you Tim Horton's upcoming game schedule. And we'll look past St. Louis on Sunday and bring you our potential playoff opponents. Again, Pittsburgh on Wednesday or Boston on Thursday.
That's right. Well, that icing brings a timeout. Minute 13 to go.
And I want to ask you, who do you want? Because you'll never get a player or a coach to pick your poison.
No, I don't think so. You know, it's interesting because the Red Wings have beat the Bruins in 4 games. They've beat them 3 games and lost 1.
And 3 straight, yeah.
That's right. With Pittsburgh, we only played 3 games. And beat them 5-4 here a couple of weeks ago. Lost 4-3 in the shootout. And then lost earlier in the year, so that was a push-off. I think the Bruins would be a more physical team to play against, and I suppose for some, arguably, they get the best goaltender in the National Hockey League in Tuukka Rask. I think Fleury in Pittsburgh, with the problems he's had in the playoffs, there's going to be extra pressure on him for that. They expect to get Malkin back. They've gotten Letang back. Paul Martin is back. They're formidable. Either one is a difficult task. But by the same token, Ken, I don't think either one of them is welcoming the chance to play the Detroit Red Wings with all these kids and the unknown of how hard they've worked and their commitment to get the job done here with the Red Wings in the past 2 months. But I suppose if fans are sitting out there, they're probably going, they like to dislike Crosby, so they're probably picking Pittsburgh.
Off that draw that the Red Wings control after calling the timeout. They have the net empty. Looking to get even in the game here. Nyquist with a shot just wide. Rebound up front. Oh, and it hit a body. Great chance with Franzen in the slot. Won't have enough for icing. Nyquist. Tatar. In deep, Hainsey chopping at him. Tatar finally knocked down. Good second effort, though, by Sheahan to lift a stick. Came loose side of the goal. Sheahan's got it again. Back to the line with it. Ripped to the net. Knocked down in front. Off the Kronwall shot. Fans wanted a penalty there as Nyquist got knocked down. Datsuk put it in behind to Sheahan. Sheahan spinning in back of the goal. Franzen out of his reach. Datsuk moves in. Gets checked, keeps on going to the other side off the glove of Nyquist with 12 seconds to go. Nyquist has it again, knocked off his stick. 10 seconds left, and that's going to do it. With 5 to go, Franzen with a long bouncer in that Ward tipped up into the netting as this game is over. Or not yet. Hang on just a moment. They're going to put a second or so. They're going to check the clock. As Ward made the save, the face-off will come up to his right. But we're not done just yet.
There won't be, by my calculation, more than about 4 or 5 tenths of half a minute by the look of it. Maybe even 4 tenths, I don't know, but not much.
Referees Eric Furlat and Jean Hebert. They'll put 0.8 of a second, so
that's generous. But time, I guess.
Well, they've got a shot. It's the only shot they've got. It'll have to be one.
No timeouts. If you had your preference, you'd have a right-handed player taking the face-off into the front of the net slot for a one-timer. With 0.8 left, you don't have much
just
time.
Jam it with Legwand right to the goal. It'll be Legwand just trying to get a slap shot in. 4th and goal here. And that's why you got Malhotra, one of the best face-off men in the National Hockey League, on the draw for Carolina. Legwand to just try to get it toward the net. He did, but blocked by Hainsey. And the Red Wings lose their first time in 4 at home as Carolina, in their franchise history, win the first ever regular season game at Joe Louis Arena as Hurricanes. As they stop Detroit 2-1, Riley Sheahan has the last 2 Red Wing goals in Pittsburgh and here tonight.
And our Miller moment of the game, brought to you by Miller Lite, will be a few different moments, and those were provided by Mr. Cam Ward, who in my opinion will be the first star in this game tonight on the several saves. That one on Abdelkader. Another look at that one. Oh boy. Set up from Datsuk. There on Darren Helm. The Red Wings had at least 7 quality scoring chances in the 3rd period, and Cam Ward was just a little bit better than the shooters in front of him. And our big boy play of the game is the winning goal, the second goal scored by Carolina. And here it comes now. big-time rebound, and boom, just like that, open net as Carolina gets away from Detroit on a turnover, and that turns out to be the big boy play of the game and the winning goal in this game, in a disappointing loss for the Red Wings in their quest to get 7th spot in their conference.
Well, the boys on the set overruled us, and they're going with Pavel Datsyuk as our selection for the Red Wings Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's New Bacon Clubhouse Burger. So the Red Wings fall 2-1, and there'll be some scoreboard watching now. As the Red Wings in a battle with those Blue Jackets. As Tampa Bay defeated Columbus. As Tampa Bay beat Columbus 3-2, we understand in regulation time tonight.
So they remain tied. And Tampa Bay, Columbus goes into Florida tomorrow night, who's been upsetting people all over the place lately. And Detroit waits for St. Louis on Sunday afternoon. So for all purposes, we won't know now until Sunday.
Good things come to those who wait, I think.
Unless Columbus wins tomorrow night, then it's over.
Anything else to add?
Keep on going.
We got to go here. So I don't want to confuse
We'll see you in the
anybody.
playoffs game next Wednesday or Thursday here on Fox Sports Detroit.
For Mickey Redmond, this is Ken Daniels saying thanks for joining us from the Joe tonight. And after this short break, we'll send you out to San Diego for Rod Allen and Mario Impemba standing by to bring you tonight's Tigers-Padres game.